really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, the one and only. No introductions, no nothing, because it is what it is. I got my son, aka Scrooge McBands, because that's what he wants to be called, Scrooge McBands. I got the intellectual delight, aka Muffins Martinez, the man who knows everything about what we're going to talk about. The continental delight, everything. What's good, my brother?
The intergalactic delight.
The intergalactic delight. All right, we're going on some Star Wars shit. May the force be with you and all that. So listen, we're recording this on Friday. I'm dropping this on Monday. I got a busy week with the wife going forward. So when they see this, Ice Wars will have happened. We don't do spoilers, so we're not going to do that because me and Muffins Martinez have been doing podcasts for many, many years. We never do spoilers. We stay sucker free. We don't appreciate that. We let the talent and the shows do what they do. Like I said, Scrooge McBands to the bottom left, my brother to the right. Ice Wars. Now, they have a crown, right? They do a tournament. It's called King of the Ring. And you get a crown when you win. It's a crazy tournament, all that good shit. Salute to Charlie, AJ, all the fighters. You know, it is what it is. But now that they signed with BKFC and they got weight groups, you can't do crowns for every weight group. And I've talked to a lot of the fighters personally, and I won't say names because, I don't know if they get in trouble or what, but they're all gung-ho for belts, right? They're like, belts over crowns, let's get it. So I'm going to show you guys a video of these belts that myself, Mobb Art, and the Laporte brothers, because we had some ideas. We've been brainstorming. I'm going to play the little video the way I only know how.
I wrote this on the stoop of my block. Man, I'm feeling like, when that ninja got shot. Man, I'm walking different, talking different. Loved ones see the difference. I'm untalkative and distant. I guess I'm seeing true colors. Stealing this for suckers. Deport the Jerry Hellers and the Busters. Salute the good fellas and the hustlers.
Now, I showed you a few. There's some that have crazy ice designs, and then you have your typical gold belt designs. I know that, like I said, it's Ice Wars. I would like for them to make a belt where it's something outside the box we've never seen. And the reason why it was so important that I had to bring Muffins Martinez in from Urban Wrestling Network, cheap plug, is if there's anyone to talk about belts and understanding the value of them and how important the legacy is and the reigns are and how you build up a prestige to a belt, is the guy who knows more about wrestling than anyone I've ever met in my life. And yes. I'm going to put you up there. I've had great conversations with Double J, Jeff Jarrett. I've had great conversations with James Storm, the Cowboy James Storm. And your mind is up there with them. I'm telling you facts. Stay as humble as you want. But I've had these conversations with these brothers. Salute to them, hope all as well. But going forward with belts, talk to me about what you would like to see in Ice Wars for belts, and how would you attribute it to, like, NWA, WWF kind of belt prestige and shit like that?
Well, everything like we watch wrestling. That's like we watch. There's boxing, there's UFC, there's everything else. You win, you get a belt. That's your own victory right there. Now we have a lot of weight divisions. What is it going to be like? What, like almost like 5-6 different weight divisions?
I mean, yeah, you got like
something like that.
125. I don't know about the men, but I know women are like 125. So you're looking at probably like 145, 135, and up to
going,
like
going down. So I mean, just imagine yourself. You busted your ass. You climbed up the ladder. You get the championship fight. You win that fight, and then they crown you with a belt. That baby goes around your waist. That's like a feeling. It's one thing you get a ring, or it's one thing you get a crown, but who's gonna go out with a crown, walking around with a crown in the airport with a crown and shit like that with a crown? That's good. That's if you win a tournament that's handled like once a year.
Yep.
That dude, like I'm the champ, I'm the king for the year. I'm good with that.
Yep.
But a belt goes around your waist, that fits perfectly around your waist. And then from there, like you mentioned this before, you become the first person, and that's where the lineage starts. That's where the you put the name to the belt, and you start taking the side plates off, and you put the person's name right there, and then the second person plate, and the third. So you have those plates as memories as we go down 3 5 years from now, but they're always going to look to the first person that won that belt is going to be memorized there. Everybody's going to know the name. You having a belt, you can carry a belt anywhere. You see the wrestlers carry the belts with them when they're going through the airports and stuff like that, and the machines are going off because the metal detector and stuff like that. So, and they tell the stories about how they carry the belts inside the bags. So this is like a second nature. You cannot go out of the house without that belt. You
Yep.
need that belt with you, man. So the prestige,
So
the lead starts with you.
and what I wanted to agree with you and talk about it, hit some points where you said take it outside. One of the biggest things that we seen, I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year when the Boston Celtics were in the NBA Finals. Sasha
Yes.
Banks had the AEW title at the NBA Finals courtside, right? So
Yep.
anybody watching that game is seeing outside. What's her name? Mercedes Morneau.
Yeah, because
She's
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 a big
courtside.
selfish thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Boston and all that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, but she's a Celtics fan. She had the belt. It looked good. How many times do we see wrestlers profit when they're on vacations and they're in different countries and they're promoting it? And I think that with Ice Wars, or especially, we're coming in ground floor, right? Like, COVID kind of stopped its momentum and really stopped what was really working well in Canada prior, right? They had a few shows. COVID came, like with a lot of things, it killed everybody's momentum.
Yeah.
So it took a little while. Now we're back. We're having it. We get to jump on here ground floor with them, and it's like if you have the person that holds it, every time they go out and they post this and put it on social media,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's 5 people see it or 50,000. Your belt is being seen. Your
Yep.
champions, they're holding this belt, and it means something. Especially like you had said, you're the first, right? So whoever your first XYZ weight division people are, they're going to be the most excited because no one has done this until me, right? So remember when Rohit Raju, when he won the
Yes.
X Division title,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that man, that
Had it
belt
everywhere.
was
Everywhere.
that belt was dead in the water. Nobody cared about the X Division no more, right? Like it was floundering. He took that, was eating cereal, working out, going to the gym, hanging out, going to movies. Everything he did, he took this belt,
That
and
belt
you
was with
felt
him.
like, yeah, you felt the X Division was back. We have a great champion, and the more these people, like I just seen Jessica Borga. She's been on a bunch of newscasting. She's bringing the BKFC belt with her. You got my girl Britt Hart. Everywhere she goes, that belt is with her. You know what I mean? Like all these people promoted at the highest level, and I'm like, it's time that. Yes, I understand that. Unfortunately, you're going to have your hockey super fans that are going to be like, well, I'm not really sure if I'm feeling the belting, but it's like we said, yeah, a ring is cool, but it's so. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I was gonna say, like you mentioned right now, I don't know if I'm gonna feel cool with the belt, but if you notice, football players, basketball players, major league players, they want the damn belt. They don't care about a
Yep,
ring. You see them when the people wrestlers come into the stadiums for like to throw the first pitch, they're going crazy with the belt. Now WWE gives them a belt when they win a championship. The NCAA gives a
everything.
belt. Everything. So everything's connected to the universe WWE, and they get a belt, and they get more excited getting a belt than a trophy because the belt belongs to them. A trophy belongs to
Yep,
the school or the team. I mean, you can take the trophy with you home, because it
exactly.
belongs on the team's office. That's what's going to stay. But you get your own individual belt and in a team, dude, they're going crazy for the damn belt. They're the champion. So,
And it's I know the Yankees didn't win because the last belt that I remember seeing given was Damian Priest when he gave it to Judge, and I don't remember what it was for, but he gave Judge
No,
a WWE.
he just bought him a belt. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
you seen Aaron Judge like so excited to be holding this title, right? Like they get super stoked, and you're like, I've talked to these players, they're gung ho for it, and it's like you said, marketing wise, and how much can you really do with the ring or crown, right? Like as much as I love the crown, if you start walking around fucking going to a restaurant with a crown, it looks kind of weird, right? You're like, who's this goofy burglar? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm gung ho for the belts. Is there a title? And I got something for you, Ma. I got something for you, Scrooge McBain, that you're gonna, because you're quiet. I know you're quiet. You're a little nervous. Your first podcast, but I got something that I'm gonna get you.
Say anything? He's gonna talk with me like for 10 minutes. It's all just me and you talking.
Nah, it's all good because I'm gonna have him flapping his gums in a few seconds. Is there a belt that if you've seen over time that you go, okay, I could see like if Ice Wars did it, would it be something like this? Like, is it like the Winged Eagles? Did the Smoking Skull? Is it the $1 million? Well, the $1 million belt, that's OD. But you know, like a belt that you remember that you go, I would love to see BKFC with a belt like that.
I mean, right now if they could bring a belt and start using it for real, that's a start. You know, let their imagination roll wild. You know, I would love to see like the first one you showed, like with two fists hitting the middle type of deal thing.
Yep.
You know, or two faces getting punched at the same time, right on the top of the middle with like some type of ice on the floor or whatever inside a rink, because it shows what it's for. So and the beauty about making belts, your imagination takes over, and you could do a belt about anything that you could imagine you could do.
Yeah, I want to see it blue, right? I want to see it represent ice. I want to see it something where we've never seen before, right? Like something where we go, oh shit, this is fire, right? We've never seen it. And the cool thing is, I'm gonna get the guy because I already talked to AJ. He's a massive, big person in Ice Wars. All the fighters love him. He's a big wrestling fan. Like I've talked to him, and I'm like, I'm gonna get him on. We're gonna chop it up with him, and it is what it is. But so outside of the belts, I know, like I said, this is why I had to bring you on, because there's no one I would talk belts about more with you, because we know legacy-wise, we're like the 10 pounds of gold, I would say, is probably the most prestigious belt in wrestling history. People could say, oh, it's not the WWE belt. I get that. But if you take 2 seconds to Google the history of who has worn the 10 pounds of gold, and then you look at the wrestling royalty that has held that belt and look at their reigns, it takes just give me 10, 15 minutes of research, and then you come on here and just go into our comments and say, oh shit, this 10 pounds of gold, Sweet Charlotte, NWA. I'm giving you all the little pointers of where to find it. Let us know if we're wrong, because we both agree. So now, Mr. Scrooge McBains.
Yes.
Ice Wars Battle for the Border is coming in tomorrow, which would be technically 2 days ago, because we're dropping this Monday, but today's Friday, so it happened Saturday. With Battle for the Border, I don't know what they're going to win. I've talked to the guys. I don't know what the thing is, but what I would have loved to have seen, and I hope what I see, is if they do this Battle for the Border once a year, right? It doesn't always got to be Canada and America. It could be whatever. I would love for them to implement like a Stanley Cup, right? Because it's a once a year tournament. Every time that somebody wins, that country, their names get etched into it, and you build it going forward. Talk to me, and then I'm gonna have Muffins talk to me. But I want to know, because you're our hockey guy. You're the I bleed hockey. Fuck the Florida Panthers, right? You were going nuts last night. So talk to me about this. What do you think of the idea? What do you think about Battle for the Border?
I think it's pretty cool. I do like the Stanley Cup thing that you're talking about, the cup itself. But in my opinion, I think they should do like how they do it in like the actual Stanley Cup. Once you have all the names and there's too many, you like etch out the names, then put them in like the Hall of Fame, if they're good enough, though.
Well, they would have to be good enough, because remember, this isn't like it's not like just a continuous team or a franchise, right? Like we don't know who would be on the next Team Canada or Team America going forward, because and I'm not cutting you off, but my thought process of Ice Wars right now is the guys we see now are unfortunately kind of the test pilots, right? Like, because I think that when former hockey players, and I'm not saying everybody with a name value has to come in after this, because these guys I want to see represented heavy, because they're the ones who were like, you know what, we're going to put Ice Wars on the map with our fighting skills. But if you got a guy, and let's just say a Matt Rempe, right? Who, we still in the league. But if a Matt Rempe sees this and goes, oh, shit, look at the buzz. I want to fight with these goons. These guys want to be hockey goons. You'll start getting the veteran hockey guys who come in and they want to test their hands versus a bunch of guys who play hockey that, okay, they think they could bang with us. We did in the NHL level, and it'll be a competition thing. So talk to me.
Well, I would like to first say Matt Rempe should just hang up the gloves and go to Ice Wars. That's the first thing I would say. I think he would be welcome.
So you're saying hang up the stick, stick, and go to Ice Wars?
Yeah, I mean, I think he would fit in perfectly. I mean, that guy is all about fight. I haven't seen him score. I've seen him score more, do more fights than score goals in 2 seasons. It's crazy. But
what this cup, man? Talk to me about the cup.
The cup itself is pretty cool, but I think like there should be like more than just a main cup. I feel like if you whoever gets the most knockouts or whoever knocks someone out fastest time, like it should have like multiple other cups than just Stanley. Like the Conn Smith, kind of like that.
Yeah, but this is I'm saying for Battle for the Border, which is make it a once a year tournament, right? Not a rookie of the year or who's got the best fights, because I'm sure that they'll keep a stat log, right? But when you're dealing with belts, your belt is your championship, right? That is what it stands for. You are the MVP because you're the champ. The idea of a trophy to me is keeping a team unified. Team Canada beat whatever, and those people go. So the more you go forward, the more this cup. And remember, it's only once a year. So, and if you're getting 10 fights in an event, you're only getting 10 names. The cup, if it's this big, that's a long tenure of people's names. But my idea would be to honor the whole team going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say about that is is the Stanley Cup, is it over or still going?
It's still going. It's
still going. It's 2-2.
It's game 5 coming up. It's 2-2 from yesterday. Overtime win.
In Florida against
Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton.
All right. So basically, whoever wins that and wins the Stanley Cup, they get a cup. Because that's like Chef's saying, it's a once a year proud for the whole team, which should be the same thing for Ice Wars. Either USA, Canada wins, they get a cup. Now, what Mobb was saying, fastest knockout, stuff like that should be like a bonus. Like whoever gets the fastest knockout gets a bonus, $5,000, $10,000. A fight of the night gets $20,000, and whoever people believe who's the fighter is, best fighter of the night, gets a bonus. Now, BKFC going forward. Now, when you start the divisions and you start, okay, this is the number 1 contender going up against the champion, that's when you implement the belt, because it's going to be a divisions. It's going to be the ones that's going to be getting the belts. So that's when you put the belts for. But for once a year event, that's pride. United States versus Canada, USA won or Canada won. That's a pride thing. You get the cup. That's pride. So that's a once a year thing. But then you get your bonuses for other stuff, like you mentioned, fastest knockout, best fighter of the night, or best fighter of the night, best fastest knockout for a female. So if when you start getting women into it, but for that, then you start doing stuff like that, and you get the fighters excited because like, oh shit, I could get some extra money for a knockout, or if I put a good performance. Performance of the night, like they do in UFC. So
yeah, no, I agree, and it's cool because I know Conor McGregor. He's loved it ever since they've kind of brought up the Ice Wars thing. He's been gung ho. There's a guy Jay Jackson, and he fights out of Tampa. He fights with BKFC. He's promoting it heavy. I know the first event is in Minnesota somewhere. I forgot where it is. I got a brain fart, but I would love for BKFC to kind of show the cross promotion and have some of their champions ringside, right? Like to show we are serious about this partnership. Let's have the fighters there. But then at the same point, why I think belts are so important is when these Ice Wars guys win, wherever they're maybe a local fighter that is the champion, they would be dope to have them ringside at a BKFC event to show this is our partnership with Ice Wars, do the cross promotion.
Now imagine you're the champion of BKFC at heavyweight. You sitting there with a belt. Now you throwing the belt in my face. Like, this is your world, but come to my world. Take the skates off and come into the octagon here, and let's see what you could do and go from there. That gets people enticed more. Like, okay, he's throwing the shit at me. I got to go now to his world now. Take the skates off. It's a different world because now you got your feet grounded. But hey, if you're tough like that, you show it.
I feel like skaters.
And what's wild? Huh?
Go ahead, my Mark.
I feel like skaters would be better on ground because they have such a good type of balance that it shouldn't be hard to fight without skates. It should be pretty easy for them.
You might think. You might think.
And the cool thing is, there's a guy on Canada side, Devin Gibson. He's called the Canadian Assassin. He's fought in BKFC, right? Like, so he's got that bare knuckle experience. And, he's on the ring side of Canada. Zach Hughes has done bare knuckle and he's done MMA. Like, so there's a few of these guys that have really banged out. And it's incredible because there's these two giants. It's Zach Hughes and Catlin the Big Snake. This guy, I'm telling you, I interviewed him. I talked to him. His weight and cardio is amazing. He dropped something like 30-something pounds, right? Like, he's in the best shape of his life, and he's flying. I mean, I've seen him on the ice thing, just whipping it and beating up this dummy thing. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you now, and I love Zach Hughes. I think he's a cool brother. But he better come with his A game because this guy is moving around at that size. He shouldn't be that fucking nimble, and it's the one thing that I've tried to tell the American guys is go to your local, hockey places and train with them. Because it's one thing if I get into a fight with one of you guys, right, and we're just duking it out. These hockey guys, they know where to grab you and bring you into position to uppercut you because this is what they do. They're goons, right? Like, so I'm super excited about it. Is that, and I know you got to talk to Will briefly. Do you think that the two? Oh, I didn't know if I told you. So there have been brothers on 9 different fight cards, right? In combat sports history, 9 times you've had 2 brothers on a fight card. I don't remember if any of them are twins. Will and Nick are twins, but no 2 brothers have ever had knockouts in the same night. So if these 2 guys get knockouts, this will be in the Guinness Book of Records. Wow. So I thought that was super cool. And those are my guys. I mean, I talk to them all the time. They super chill. I think we hit everything. I showed the video. Is there anything we missed that we want to talk about? Or
any predictions?
Predictions? Well,
USA versus Canada. Who wins?
Well, I want Canada to win.
Oh, he's been picking Canada, talking shit for a while. He said that Canada's going to scrape USA.
Well, you know something. I'm going to be honest, and I looked at the names, and I looked at like I said, I don't know. It's hard to find the fights, but I look at their faces and I look at the names. And man, I don't know, man. But the Canada side, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This is going to be like the 1980 Russians against USA Olympic when the USA beat Russia. If USA gets this win over against Canada, I'll be surprised. I'll be happy, but I'll be very surprised. Now I don't know.
So we're gonna have a good.
I I don't know about getting that US is going to get scraped. I think it's going to be close, but I'm giving the edge to Canada. I'm sorry, man. But like I said, it's if USA gets it, I'll be happy, but I'll be super duper shocked.
All I'll say is that I hope Canada wins in the Stanley Cup and in Ice Wars because
Wow, really?
I'm going pro Canada this year.
Even the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, and I'm not even like an Edmonton fan, but like, let's go Edmonton. Let's go Connor McDavid. Yeah.
Well, I'll go for Florida because I used to live there and I love Florida because it's always hot and I love going to Florida. So Florida for sure.
Listen, if Florida's been in the Stanley Cup the last 5 years between Tampa and the Panthers.
Yeah, I know. Didn't they win last year? Who won? Who didn't Florida already win?
Florida.
They won last
Florida.
year, right?
Florida.
Oh shit, okay.
Yep.
And Edmonton's gonna take them off the map this time.
I don't know, man. I mean, now if Florida won last year, they're back this year in the Stanley Cups. This is what legacy means.
As long as Skinner,
this is legacy right here. So
as long as Skinner doesn't touch the pipes, we are fine. Skinner cannot be in those pipes. The rookie did better.
Okay, hold on. So right now, if Florida Panthers don't choke game one because they had the lead and they choked, and it was 1-0, and then Florida won 2 games in a row. Last night they scored 3 goals in the first period, right?
And we came back.
They gave up 3 goals in the second period.
Wow.
With 10 seconds left, being down 1, they pulled their goalie, they tied the game, and they choke in overtime. So Florida should have already won 4-0 if they didn't choke on themselves. They didn't lose their games. I mean, Edmonton didn't beat them. Florida lost. There's a big difference when you lose or when you actually cost yourself a win. They lost. They didn't get beaten. They lost on their own. There's nothing about Edmonton that I believe in. And there's a big difference in sports when that happens.
Well, they got Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, Jeff Skinner.
Your boy Nurse,
yeah.
Well, like I said, man, this is how a legacy starts. Florida wins again the Stanley Cup. That right there goes into the history books. Nobody can take that away from Florida. They get the thing back, and then people are going to understand this is how you wish the Marlins were being managed. Yep. Because if the hockey team can do this, why can't the Marlins do the same thing? And unfortunately, the Marlins won that 1 year when they won, and they went and blew it up. And you go like, why? Like, what's going on here? Yep. Then they build it again. They start going to the playoffs, and they get blown up again. And you go like, dude, somebody got to step in, especially Major League Baseball, needs to step in and go, okay, enough of this shit. You guys can't be doing this on a regular basis. A humongous stadium, and there was the Houston game there recently, and there was like 100, 300 people in the stands. Dude, like what? Yep. What? You can that's a WNBA game.
Yeah, it's true. Like, and what he's saying is right because, like, it shocked the world when the Marlins won. Right, everybody was like, "Yo, whoa! Like, how did that happen?" Right, like it was crazy that it happened. And literally the off season. So you're talking a few weeks after the World Series, they just completely blew up the roster, right? So you go, oh shit. But to get back on point with what he's saying about the Florida Panthers, I just told you that Tampa Bay and Florida for the last 5 years have represented in the Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah.
That's making Florida a new destination for hockey. Like when me and Muffins was younger, Pittsburgh dominated, the Red Wings dominated, the Blackhawks were great, and they started calling those hockey towns. One of the hottest places in the United States, and I'm talking heat-wise, temperature, is Florida, and yet we're representing in the coldest sport that we know of hockey.
And I was shocked when they brought hockey to Tampa Bay and then Florida. I'm like, hockey teams in Florida? Mm-hmm. It was like 100 degrees outside. They're going to be melting out there inside the thing. But As shocked as I was, it's working because look what's going on. And then, like you said, fans want to come in, and people from out of the country come in. They bring money to Florida, and Florida start blowing up because now you're hosting NHL's, playoffs for 5 years in a row. Man, those tickets got to be off the roof, price wise.
Yeah, they're not cheap because for his birthday we took him to see the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Seattle Kraken.
Yes.
And what that place was sold out, right? Like the Krakens weren't in the playoff hunt no more, but they were sold out. I mean, the event. How was the event?
It was amazing. It was huge and everything. Like everywhere you seen, there was mad people.
So it's working, right? And this is what we're saying to build. And this is what Ice Wars got to do too, right? You got to find where your niche is. What states are going to work for you? I would test Florida in a heartbeat because of the Panthers and the Lightning. I would test New York because of the Rangers. I would test Philly because they got the Broad Street Bullies, and that's a hockey area. Detroit, I would go.
Don't they still have the Rangers, Islanders, and the Devils?
Yep.
Well, Devils New Jersey, but
two hockey teams in New York, and then one over like 20 minutes apart. So I mean, New York
exactly.
If they ever win, the problem is New York never wins.
Yeah, I mean they haven't won since 95 or whatever. But listen, Ranger games are still great, right? So you're looking at areas where like Buffalo, which is right next to Canada with the Sabres, they got a high thing. So you're looking at you trying to go into markets where
Buffalo has a professional hockey team here. I always forget that.
I was gonna say that. If you're talking about New York, the Rangers, they won in 94 because 95 was when Martin Brodeur became Martin Brodeur.
Okay, so they beat them in 94 and then the Devils won in 95.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they kept winning stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is you hit markets where they are hockey markets, right? You're not trying to. Yeah. I know they go to Wyoming. I don't know the gate, right? Like I would love to know what they do.
What the hell's in Wyoming? What's in Wyoming?
Bro,
horses.
I got
horses.
Horses. I got no fucking idea. But they go.
That's Wyoming. There's nothing in Wyoming. There's not even ice.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But I would definitely try to hit mainstream hockey areas, bring it there, and you got to bring belts in because fans love belts as well.
Right? Everybody loves belts.
And if you have a cool belt, right, and you sell replicas, do you know how many of them you will sell because fans are gonna like cool looking shit, right? Like, so I'm with it. I need them to make some Ice Wars bandanas and shit because I need one. But gentlemen, we talked about belts, we talked about hockey, we talked about the Stanley Cup. Damn near talked about everything. I think we touched everything. McBains, is there something you want to say? So you got a little more excited talking hockey, right? Like, it's okay to say, nah, I don't really want to say none. You got to come out that shell a little bit because you're going to be stuck coming on here.
Just talk hockey and he's dead.
Okay. That's facts. So listen, by the time we come back for another thing, Stanley Cup will be over. We'll wind up figuring it out because I'm going to have Muffins on here. Like I said, Urban Wrestling Network, cheap plug. We're going to come on here. We're going to kind of how we do with MLW, right? We'll talk, obviously, the fights, which will eventually on the 18th, we'll be able to watch it because they'll be on the Zone. I think they said it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the BKFC app. So we'll figure out what day it is. Maybe we go live. I don't know. But if not, we'll talk it. And then in between fight shows, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sit here and talk random shit, right? We're going to have some fun with it. And you're going to have to come up with topics. You're going to have to come up with topics yourself because welcome to the fucking team. You're stuck. For myself, this crazy guy, this young man, we out of here. Deuces. Play my motherfucking music.
There's crooks in your castle, then it's nights full of battles. Some fight with the barrel, that's eagles versus vultures and olives versus arrows. Carhartt apparel. Harrowed by the pharaohs who travel through the narrow.
My apologies. Wrong intro.
Yo, I wrote this on the stoop of my block. Man, I'm feeling like when that ninja got shot. Man, I'm walking different, talking different. Loved ones see the difference. I'm untalkative and distant. I guess I'm seeing true colors. Stealing this for suckers. Deport the Jerry Hellers and the Busters. Salute the good fellas and the hustlers.